Hey, welcome back. It is Laura at Hyperstamper. I have another one of my journals in a box. This is a resplendent box, if I do say so myself. This is a Victorian-era biscuit tin, and it's got this exquisite plate here. Look at that beautiful. This is actually likely a 17th century woman on a 19th century box, which is the 1800s. And this gorgeous snakeskin pattern and the gold around the edges and the gold trim around the side of the box. And this really cool, which I've researched it. It's a D, an S, whoop, and a J, and a little ampersand. So I don't know what it is, but fun thing about this tin is it's actually quite valuable. You can take a shot of this and look it up on eBay and Etsy. But I just want to share it with my journalers and show you that inside here I've got a really sweet little journal. Well, it's not that little, but it's 7 inches by 4.5 inches, which is really a good little size. And then I just thought this matched the box so well. It's got this beautiful golden inside. Look at that. It's got some dents because it is, 130 years old plus. But the bottom is the same as the top. How great is that? So I just think it's a real treasure, and this journal comes with it. And I'm adding this little vintage quilt pen here with the gold lid. I just think it's wonderful. This is decorative unless you know how to cartridge or ink with a quilt pen, because that one is dried out. So let me show you the inside of this beautiful French cover. This is also very old, from 1906. And I just loved the cover so much. I know there's nothing to it, there's no pictures, but I love that it's couleur de soie. This is a secondary school for young girls. So it's a young girls history book. How about that? Who knew that boys and girls history were different? I also put, and this is gonna sound crazy, but this is an 18 karat gold plated chain, and then just some kind of vintage or antique metal chain there that you can take off and use, and just some trim. So that's the outside and the tin. And now let me take you on a journey of the inside. I did have to fix the spine. You can see the original spine is still under there, but it had some tears. So I just added some fabric, which I love. And then the inside is so much fun. Now, because it was so old and brittle, I could not keep the page in its original placing. So I just moved it over to this side, and I love it. It's got the original person up there. And then we've got the original publisher's page, and you can see here it is from 1906. And then what's really great is I also added this map that was in the book. So this is a 120-year-old map. Isn't that great? It's just, that's originally how it was put in the book. So I love it. Oh, one more thing, another little thing in here. I turned it into a pocket because there was opportunity to have a pocket. So, oopsie. Sorry, my fingers are not cooperating with me today. This is just a little vintage koala bear. There's a lot of different countries being represented in this book. That's just a little journaling spot. Ooh, vintage botanical page. And then this here is Egyptian. This one here. And then that's just a little journaling book. And then this exquisite woman, and guess why I chose her? Another valuable little cupboard card. And because it's a lady with a hat, Victorian lady with a hat, and I just thought that was perfect. So she lives here now with the tin. And so we'll just put her back in here. Oh, and the great thing about this is it's from Paris, just like the book. So I just had so much fun with all these little coincidences. It was really fun. I also have a 1938 Flinch card there, number 11, or numéro 11. Vintage children's book page. And look at, this is another one of these great 1930s baby cards, and this one has the flocking on, all the little animals and the toys. But what's really great, and I noticed last night, is it is hand painted white flowers on there, and so all the little white bits are actually hand painted. Isn't that cool? That's care in making a card, and those days are gone, except for people who hand make cards. Sorry, Lacey. Sorry. Okay, so we also have here a antique handwritten note or page, thesis page. This is an 1887 plate, gorgeous, A Summer's Eve. And sorry, I'm just going to move Lacey for a second. Lacey, go over there. Thank you. And this is a little vintage or antique. This one's from the Kellogg's Company of Great Britain, the locomotive there. And then I've got a 1947 Fashions of the Ages there. And this one is the Louis VI era. And then this is just an envelope. You can do whatever you like with it, but I love that it had, first of all, postage marks on the back from 1902 and on the front 1902. And this one is going to Illinois. But look at, how many times have you done this? Used old envelopes to do math on and scribble notes on. I've done it, still do it. Here is a great postcard from 1947. Look at this little boy on a pony ride. Isn't that great? And that is from Port Stanley, it says. Here's another one of Paige's little vintage coupon tickets from a coupon book. And this is the 1970s vintage party invitation. You can journal in. Great antique stamps here. This is beautiful Chateau Frontenac. And this one is from likely around 1910. And that is beautiful rusted staple marks there on this pocket. Little journaling, oopsie, sorry, little journaling Monopoly money space here on the back. Other antique Swiss, I believe, 1939 envelope piece there. And then another palmistry piece. This one is Sir Edwin Arnold. That is his palm. So that is from an antique palmistry book. I just think that's so cool. Another wonderful 1930s children's book page, Antique Flower. This is an 1859 engraving from Hogarth, and that is a 1955 recipe under a spine of a 1930s spelling book. And then that is, look at this sweetie, little vintage how to knit page from the 60s. Feather, a real one, and another one of these beautiful bunny plates from the early 1900s. And this is a vintage Birds of America page there, and a 100-year-old children's work page, and another antique stamp here. This is the Queen Elizabeth and her sister in the early days when their father was the king. And this is a hand-typed on carbon paper little note. It's pretty cool. I'm going to let the new owner read that because it's sweet. And then this is just a blank. Oh, this was the last page of the book. So a student wrote her notes on French here, but in English. So I thought that was pretty cool. This is another Fun with Dick and Jane page, and another sweet little story there. This is just the original spine of the book that I kept with the book. There's the Fun with Dick and Jane again, and this is a 1970s receipt with carbon paper intact, and this is another 1920s collar supporter, so that would keep the ladies' lace collars up stiff, or if you were making a gentleman's collar as well. Another children's book, 100-year-old page there, and this is also about a 120-year-old plate. That is the Rhine River, and that is very special. So more fun international things. This is an international page from a stamp collector's book from 1955 on India. And then this is just another collar piece to go with the other collar thing. That's just a more modern 1960s collar making piece. I'll put that back in there. And then back here we have, oh yes, I just made a little journaling card, and that is from the back of a vintage frame, a Swiss-made vintage frame, which I think is very cool. I'm gonna just put that, and this is on a hinge. Isn't that cool? Vintage ledger sheet. Things to make and do page there. You'll see another really cool thing with that in a second. And this is just from the 1890s. I just love it. The Child to the Waves. And I left it intact in case somebody wanted to use the whole piece. Maybe put it back in the journal as a page or use it for another little craft. Tuck it back in its little 1930s children's pocket there. Look at, they're looking at cards and postcards. It's just so sweet. More vintage pieces here. The Happy Time, Nature's Friend poem. This is just another great 1970s ad for Walker's Clothes, Sports About. And this is from the 1920s. Look at that, great. Look at the owls and all the little nymphs and the bunnies. Very sweet. Play and Laughter, a hand-typed research paper. And this is the one I really like. I just really like this. It is How to Make a Scooter. Now that's 100 years old plus, and I think the scooters look almost exactly like that today. Is that great? These little toys. Oh my gosh. So anyways, I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. It's hyperstamper.etsy.com, and you can message me below if you have any questions, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye for now.